Oh, right. Finally, it is time to go get some dinner, aka lunch, whatever the hell this time in your country is. Just imagine me going to get food. It's beautiful, isn't it? So, I've been needing to do a discussion on you want X deck fixed, or you want X deck legal again today. I'm going to talk about a few of these, but the first one we're going to start with is... I was debating between Necros and Bujins, or Necros and Bujinos, but here's the thing though, much like any broken pipe dream, you guys gotta understand that in order to make Bujins a good deck again, you literally have to bring in some of the most degenerate shit this game has ever had. And by the most degenerate shit, I mean this game's ever had. You gotta give my boy a Kaiser Colosseum a call. And Kaiser Colosseum is one of the most degenerate cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But Robbie, we have 3 Cosmic Cyclones, 3 Twin Twisters, and multiple other back row removal. You're a fucking idiot for fucking thinking that way. Well, sorry random audience member 792. Even though you've been on this channel for a long time, you still don't know the concept of Yu-Gi-Oh! And when I say the concept of Yu-Gi-Oh!, floodgates are bad, okay? Not allowing your opponent to play the game is complete and utter bullshit. Now, I had my old Bujin deck put together. I got an Aura cut out version of the deck with Attack on Titan characters because I'm a fucking badass like that. Yeah! You fucking know what I mean. Fucking looks sweet. But here's the thing though. Deck has Kaiser Colosseum in it. And let's be real for like 3 seconds here. That shit's broken. I played Kaiser Colosseum against my friend Spirals. And you know what a Yamato with set 3 in a Kaiser Colosseum looks like to a deck like Spirals? It's GG well written on the walls. Like, there ain't fucking dick that deck can do to get out of that. I mean, yeah, they got back row removal. Yeah, they can successfully reveal the super agent to try to break it. But, you know, if you don't have the ability to summon drone and start your initial combo, well, you know, you're going to have a bad time. Now, it's going to turn into a Kaiser Colosseum video discussion. I just know it. So, on the flip side, making Bujins better means that you gotta make my broken pipe dream all the better. My boy Artorgius with 4 equips in Kaiser Colosseum, the lock. Now, I know you guys have heard me beat the shit out of Kaiser Colosseum, beat the shit out of Noble Knights, and just how fucking great they are with the new support and how I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But Artorgius with Excalibur, with just general equips, is really fucking good. And the other reason why Kaiser Colosseum was such a ridiculous card is because of that fucking new Destiny hero that you could just give it to your opponent and then they're locked out of activating spells and they can't goddamn summon a monster because Kaiser Colosseum's on the field. So, you know, no one wants to deal with that. Thank you, Destiny heroes. You're the fucking real reason why one of the best goddamn floodgates in the game got banned. Thank you. I just wanted to sit in the arena with my one-of monster. It was a cool concept. Like that's one of the cool things I liked about Kaiser Colosseum. It was the only card in the game that forced the mentality of each of us bring out our strongest monsters. And if you beat me in the Colosseum, you get the ability to have more monsters. And that's not a bad concept, but forcing you to play the same amount as me. Actually, Kaiser Colosseum was extremely stupid during Monarch format. I don't think a lot of people really would realize this, but having stupid fucking Kaiser Colosseum on the field with a goddamn Erebus, like, I can't Stormforth your Monarch because, you know, that was one of the weirdest rulings I've ever been given in a regional. I was told that because I would be attempting to control more monsters than my opponent, while they have Kaiser Colosseum on the field, I couldn't remove their monster. That ruling still pegs me to this day. It's one of the more interesting ones out there because Kaiser Colosseum just has so many degenerate rulings, and instead of just elaborating everything that you can do with Kaiser, it was honestly just better to remove that shit from the equation. I mean, let's be real here for a sec though. A card that says, you must control as many monsters as me? No, that's broken. Just not allowing your opponent to extend into those monsters or even allow them to exist on the field was one of the most powerful things that this game has seen. But, I mean, it did help out Tier 2, just kind of like Evenly Matched is. Yes, I'm about to compare Evenly Matched to Kaiser Colosseum. What a world we live in. The fact that you could literally just... Your shitty deck was able to be played because you could just not allow your opponent to play the game, or in the sense of evenly matched, you just clean that shit up right when they're done, just with their diarrhea all over the place. That's what made it tolerable. And that's no justification to allow these decks to play, but I mean, that was truly the mechanics that you needed for things like Noble Knights and for Bujins to even be playable. And it's so sad to say that, because those decks had so much going for them outside of that, but they were just too slow paced, and their concept of being standalone boss monsters was just, I'm not going to say it was a bit before its time, but I think it was too far, like, gone. Like, they were good for their time, but and if they had come out much earlier, I think they would have been a little bit better off. Is that weird to say? I could be wrong. Food time, food time, food time. What do we want?
Hey, it's just Wendy's not going to help you. Just to let you know, we're currently out of nuggets, and we do not have any large cups for drinks.
All right, then. Can I get a number 2, please? Medium size with Coke Noise. Ketchup and onion only on the sandwich. And chili cheese fries instead of the regular fries. And that'll be it. Damn, out of nuggets. What the fuck?
941, thank you.
How do you just run out of nuggets? And large cups? On a Sunday? Huh. That's very interesting. I'm sad now. I wanted nuggets. One time you're going to hear me order something other than a double. What is life? Speaking of other lolsy cards that go with Kaiser Colosseum, shout out to my boy Evil Swarm Ophion. Though you may be existing in your current state as Steel Swarm blah 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 blah, but the thing is, you're still a deck. Now let's be real here. Kaiser Colosseum existing in today's day and age with the retarded support of Kaiser Colosseum would not be a thing. Being able to establish a link monster or set up anything else and force your opponent to not be able to play in their extra deck monster zone is pretty good. So much even to go Ophion in today's day and age and lock your opponent out of their extra deck monster zone. Or like just being able to like not go into it's really good. Especially, you know, on the topic of like the new Evil Swarm, just like the fact that like if my opponent attempts to do anything and clear the board, I can just toggle the Evil Swarm's effect to smash summon multiple monsters. Now that's against what Kaiser Colosseum is about, but just being able to have an Ophion with infection protecting it with multiple back row just seems degenerate as absolute fuck. Same thing with, you know, Bujin and all the others. Yeah, I know you guys wanted me to talk about Necros this format, but can't really do it. This turned into a Kaiser Colosseum discussion. Didn't expect that, but general floodgates like Kaiser Colosseum, they're just super degenerate, okay? I don't know, man. I love Noble Knights, and I fucking loved Bujins. They were two of the coolest decks that they were nice and slow paced for the game. They allowed you to just slowly generate advantage. And granted, there are not a lot of decks in today's day and age that really do that, but, you know, that's what made them cool. Just a big giant fuck yous to your opponent trying to play the game. And Kaiser Colosseum gave that to them. It was a card that allowed those decks to do what they wanted to do, to play their game. And in the current day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh!, there are no cards that, unfortunately, just say, you know, you're being forced to slow down your game. You know, most of the stun variants, most of the stun-esque cards that we have kind of come to know and love, they've been punished out of the game. And I really wish that some of the choices, the discoveries that we made, they would have been a little bit later, you know, like Vanity's Emptiness. Like, oh god, as soon as Emptiness was discovered, it all went downhill. Same thing with Kaiser Colosseum. You know, as soon as we discovered it back in the old card pool, well, you know, it was good over. Sometimes hidden gems like that, they come to ruin the fun of everybody else. And not having Kaiser Colosseum anymore really just fucking sucks for tier 2. Actually, it's like tier 3 now. Speaking of which. So, honestly, what do you guys think about Kaiser Colosseum? I know it's a super degenerate card. The card is not good for the game. We all know this. But the things it did for things like Bujins and Noble Knights, setting up their boss monsters. It was a different aspect. Granted, it was a different time, you know, bunny ears. But the thing was, just the things that you have to give generic-esque support to decks like that to allow them to even to exist, it definitely proves that what generic draw power could do to the game. I mean, could you imagine if every deck in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment just had a generic draw card? Just imagine thinking about like Pot of Greed getting that errata, draw 2 cards we can't, so summon the turn you activate it. You know, it would just... It's good steps in the right direction, but how they limit these types of interactions is definitely something to be left explored. Whether or not a good thing or a bad thing, but Konami, please, we need another Kaiser Colosseum, but make it like a super powerful maintenance cost. I mean, 2k life points wouldn't be terrible because it allows the decks to operate. I mean, I'd pay 2,000 life points to keep a Kaiser on the field for 2 to 3 turns. You know, because, you know, Bujins are going to take at least 2 turns to set up. And then Noble Knights are going to need at least a turn arena or a 2 arena. But there are things that you can do to generally make these things more balanced. It depends. Just don't make it shitty and just make it to where both players can only control 3 monsters, because that's not good. Not at all. Or make your opponent be able to pay 2,000 life points to be able to summon more than 1 monster, like breaking the rules of the Colosseum. That'd be cool. But yeah, what do you guys think? Comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I really miss Kaiser Colosseum.